Before we move on to the fundamental analysis, we need to understand what is a real risk, what is an asset risk. Have you ever asked yourself this question? How can we calculate the required fuel to travel Mars with 99.9% accuracy, but we are really terrible at guessing what will happen with the markets? Not even the university professors or Wall Street professionals can get the right answers. Because markets are based on pure human emotions. There are out there millions of humans giving emotional decisions every single day based on their needs. For example, I need to sell my stocks because maybe I need a surgery, or I want to buy a new supercar, or maybe I want to travel to Europe, or I may need to pay a huge debt. As you can see, it is impossible to know why people sell or even buy their stocks. This brings us to the issue of multiverses. Your personal portfolio may have good or bad results based on some global events and some luck. Imagine that there is a war tension between US and Russia and your portfolio crashes. Or somehow these countries agree upon peace, your portfolio will skyrocket. Maybe an oil crisis will affect your portfolio really badly. Or, as a word, we will move into a new energy phase. Or maybe a new pandemic will come soon. Who knows? You see, there are millions of multiverses that can happen in the future. So, each asset class has their risk thresholds to handle bad global crashes or great years. Remember, riskier the asset, the bigger the volatility it will have, but riskier the asset, it will have a better chance of beating the inflation and increasing your buying power. Then all of this brings us to a true question. What is a real risk? In my opinion, real risk is the permanent loss of your money. Again, in my opinion, an imaginary risk is waiting in a negative position. This is how I personally see the risks. Let's say, in my first opinion, not investing my money is one of the biggest real risks that I ever take. Why? If I keep my money in saving accounts or most of bonds all the time, I will definitely lose the money against inflation and my buying power will decrease over the time. My money will permanently go away. I will be able to buy less and less with my money. Second important real risk is some company bankruptcies or some cryptocurrencies that may vanish, basically that asset goes to $0. This is another version of a permanent loss. This type of permanent loss is even worse than saving accounts and bonds. On the other hand, what is an imaginary risk? It is basically anything that is not permanently lost. For example, during a global crash, my assets may be in negative positions for a long time under the real inflation. But this does not mean that I am losing money at all. With a right comeback, there is a high chance of recovering. So how do we reduce risks then? First of all, we cannot eliminate all the risks. In this crazy world, there's no guarantee that a company like Apple or Tesla will hold forever, or Bitcoin may be banned in the next decade. Who knows? No one knows the future except this. But this is where the working agents truly shine. They are incredible at reducing the risks. Since we will diversify our investments with baby-size entries, our risks will be reduced greatly. Imagine this stock R with an agent that went to $0 due to the company bankruptcy. How much will it affect us? As you can see, our loss will be minimized compared to our whole portfolio. Or imagine that we invested heavily on this cryptocurrency, but we keep taking profits frequently. See this agent with CryptoC. I took the profit, then a month later, this CryptoC bankrupted somehow. But we already sold the half. Our risk minimized here, as you can notice. Lastly, you must learn to adapt and change. Change is inevitable. You must learn to adapt to new things. Do not be an old-minded person. In the 1800s, most popular investments were railroad and gold-based assets. In the 1900s, value stocks and real estate were the most popular investment tools. In the 2000s, growth stocks, technology, ETFs, and crypto took over the world. How about 2030s? Probably artificial intelligence and robots. And what about the 2050s or the next century? Maybe spaceships and meteor mining. Who knows? Do not be addicted to any asset type. Learn to change and adapt. And the working agents are your best tool on this road, because you can send a couple of new agents to every type of investments in the world and do a trial error. Test them with minimum risk. See their performances.